You know we got 4 cuts from that.
Yeah, no.
I Got You was written on that camp.
Yeah, I remember
every
that.
song.
What are these camps? I don't understand. When the word camp.
Like a songwriting.
Songwriting.
Yeah, camp. What do you mean?
Camp.
So,
Yeah,
we invited, so me and Deval and Hitton, we invited like 25 writers, split across 5 different days, and we had 4 different studios going each day. So you imagine you had Gab, Sam Merrifield and LJ in one studio, Deval and Disciples and another couple of writers would be in here. There was another 2 studios going on. But I remember being really nervous as well because it was the first time we've ever sort of put one together.
Yeah.
And I remember having to sit in the room and give a brief to everyone in the room, say like, we're looking for songs that are going to be like this, blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking at the time, personally, I'm thinking, how on earth am I got to sit here and tell all of these songwriters what to do? How on earth how does that make any sense to my mind at all? But anyway, we done it and we're like, right, I just remember saying, no, we need a strong tagline. I gave a couple of different references. The Benediction, Hot Natured was a reference that we gave, and then everyone just sort of set off and done their thing and started making music. And then throughout the week we'd like show our faces in each room, make sure everything was going okay, make sure there was good synergy between the artists and the writers in the room and stuff. And I remember coming into that room in every song, because I remember kind of when we put the sessions together, we were trying to work out who's going to work well with each other. We didn't want to throw you in with LJ every single day because you're used to working with him all the time. So it's like, no, let's try Gabs with new people, blah blah blah.
Jay's old artist single got written on that camp as well.
Yeah, Liars.
Oh shit.
5. Yeah, Liars got written.
We have 5 cuts from one writing camp.
That's mad
unheard
as well,
of.
because I actually do not like camps usually.
Yeah.
I remember us kind of anticipating, like, right, that's a good, we've put 3 strong people in that room.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Adding Sam into the mix, and it's just like, I'm really like excited to hear what's going on in that room. And then I remember popping our heads in there, and we both left, and we both looked at each other and were just like, okay. And I think for me personally, I think that's when I remember looking at Deval, because we were flirting with the idea of shall we, we got a lot on, like, is it?
But the conversation, and we didn't actually start working together probably for about 6 months after that.
Yeah, but in our minds, that's when me and him both, or for me anyway, I remember looking in his eyes going, no, she's a bit of us. Do you know what I mean? It was like from that session, seeing you work with LJ so closely, how well you got with everyone, it's like, no, do you know what, she needs to be in the fam, do you know what I mean?
Which is just mad, because obviously I've met you, but I'd literally had just never seen you before, but I feel like you just knew so much about
you.
Or me, or like my voice.
I was a stalker.
Yeah.
That's actually
not in a creepy way.
weird.
Not in a creepy way.
That's mad though, that is honestly mad.
No, because you're such an insane vocalist though. So like when you hear interesting voices that aren't super generic though. Do you know what I mean? In this game, everyone sounds the same though. Do you know what I mean?
Too. You see that?
You know, I always hear like a writing camp, and I'm like, oh yeah, not a clue.
Do you think like we all pitch?
Yeah, I just think it's like a
tents
campfire, right? I think there's tents around it, and everyone's like singing songs and singing. No, do you know what I mean? I don't know.
See, why we're kind of surprised of how many cuts we got out of the week, because I think the overall feeling, the week or a few weeks after that camp, because the camp was predominantly meant to be for Ashid S.
Yes, it was.
And we actually didn't get any cuts away with Ashid S's team. So I think for me and you on a personal note, it was like, oh, okay, we had this objective to try and hit those heights, and we didn't quite do that. But then when you look back in hindsight, we're now in a position where, like what Deval said, is that we've got 5 cuts out of that camp, which is kind of unheard of, probably. Like we've actually been able to, they spent 18 months, but we've actually been able to pitch and get 5 records away from it, which is pretty special.
Even if it's just that one little thing that you can take forward, rather than having 5.
Or you set a camp up and you don't get any cuts from it at all, because it just wasn't the right energy in the room with the writers or whatever. It just doesn't work. You can't always guarantee hits. You can have all the ingredients there, but you can't always make a cake from it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's good to look back and say we've got 5 cuts out of our first OUTCRY camp we've ever put on. I'm happy with that, man.
Absolutely.
And I've actually not even really thought about it until we're sitting here talking about it now.
I spoke to Hitton about it, because it's, you know, he's a master of putting on camps. That's Phrased Differently Boss, where I'm signed as a writer. And so we put this camp on together, and I've been to 5 or 6 of his camps. We used to do them in Sweden, and sickest experience, amazing producers, songwriters. A&Rs would come down as well, listen to our records at the end of the day. But for me personally, the best thing I got out of that was actually meeting people rather than actual cuts.
Actual music,
do you know what I mean? So for our first camp to get 4 or 5 cuts out of that, it's actually unheard of.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And again, it's all down to the writers.
Yeah.
Like, we're fortunate that we've built a strong network of experienced producers and writers that are comfortable in that situation, and that's what you get as well. Do you know what I mean? When you put the right people that have got the experience, and you've got insane vocalists like yourself that can just sprinkle that little bit of magic dust on top, that's when you're going to sort of win.